All right, I think we're live. I'm so pumped. I got on my Go Farther Together t-shirt. This is Johnny's house. Team World Vision Los Angeles 2016. We are kicking off 2017 with this epic call. Now, I want to just welcome everybody on. I know it's kind of weird doing one of these calls. I've never done anything like this before. Lindsay's teaching me how to do it. So forgive me if I look away from the camera or whatever, but the cool bonus buy off this is by doing this, we'll have it recorded, so we'll be able to share it. And I'm going to be giving you some updates on this call that are going to blow your mind. So I just want to begin with a quick word of prayer. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for our team and for everyone that was able to get in on the link today. We will be doing group calls all season, Lord, as far as just using the telephone. But today, I just wanted this to be a testimony, a recorded testament of great things that you are doing on our team and in our lives. And I just give you glory for everything you've done. I don't deserve to be a part of this ministry, and I don't deserve to have any one of these people on the live stream in my life. I don't deserve it. But you have given me this opportunity. I thank you for them and for the incredible year we've had. And it's in your name we pray. Amen. All right. But first, I'm going to share my screen. So let's do that. And let's share my screen and show you this. Remember this? Let's see if I can make it big. I'll make it really big. Yeah, that should be big. Oh, sorry about that. Will Ferrell comes in later. Will Ferrell? She running with Team World Vision? Oh, I don't know. Man, did I say that? No. So why are you even thinking that right now? There we are at the transition zone. Fist pumped. The light of Jesus behind us. We're about to take the city and change kids' lives forever. And here are some wonderful moments from LA Marathon 2016 that you may not remember. We all remember this moment of Kenanaya and Jenny Pak. Yes, they are dating. There is Robert Altavia awkwardly in the background. Chris Sparling in the Adidas sweatshirt looking like he's about to mug somebody. But look at the expression on Jenny Pak's face. Did they get engaged? He's giving them flowers. No. He gave her one of the breakfast burritos from the transition zone, and she's just really happy about that. One of my favorite LA Marathon 2016 moments, but I don't know if it comes close to this moment, to this just bro connection of Todd the Bod Hunt and Gio Ratchford just celebrating Todd's full marathon, getting on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. If you didn't know that, he did get on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And then I had to have the epiphany of this bro moment at the finish line tent. And of course, there is our main man, Henry from Trinity Church of the Nazarene, 86 years old, running LA Marathon, the full. And there is my main man, Jason Tippett, who probably wants to murder me in that picture, but he really smiled well. This is a man who had plantar fasciitis so bad in his feet that before the season began, he had to literally crawl in the morning when he would wake up and get out of bed until his feet would unlock and calm down. That man ran the charity relay and crushed it and led his entire team into it. This is the guy that said, I want to suffer through this, Johnny, because maybe by suffering through it, people will be united through Jesus's love through my suffering. All right. And well, I'm sure the suffering did happen. And and so let me stop sharing for a minute, because this is where I want to just give you a quick scripture. I know last year our word was the first two words that God said to Jonah: arise and go. And I not trying to talk special about myself or nothing, but I'm halfway through writing a book called Arise and Go. That is how much that theme rocked me this last year. All right. Found out that those are the first two words that God said to Joshua after Moses died. They're the two words that the messenger angel said to Joseph when Joseph, Mary, and baby Jesus, were to go back to Egypt. And this idea of rising up, of going from a you know, an on your back position to violently saying, no, I'm getting up. I'm standing up, and then I'm up. What do I do next? I go. I embrace the mission that God has set before me. That was really our theme this last year. But I've been reading about Paul and Barnabas. If you're not a Bible nerd, just listen to the details of the story. It's amazing. They're missionaries, all right, in the first century in the church. They go to this town called Lystra, Lystra. And in that town, there's a dude whose feet are broken. They've never worked his whole life. He's never been able to walk. Paul and Barnabas pray for him, and God heals his feet, and the dude is up and walking. The entire town flips out, and they're like, oh, Paul and Barnabas, you guys are gods. You're amazing. And they like start to worship Paul and Barnabas. These guys have to spend the whole day saying, we are not gods, all right? We worship a God who has raised the dead. We follow a God who heals the sick. And my name is Paul. My buddy's name is Barnabas. Well, by the end of that day, they go from being treated like gods to they actually get stoned. These kind of religious hacks, so to speak, come into town, plant all this evil stuff in the people's heads, and they pick up stones and they stone Paul and Barnabas, and they leave town. And I'm being dead serious right now to you. Don't roll your eyes at me. I know that some of you had moments like that this last season. You had high point moments when you felt like you were on the top of the mountain and you felt like godlike. Not like you were a god, but like you had the power of God just rushing through you, you know, and you felt invincible. And then there were other times you felt like you straight up got stoned and you had the crap beaten out of you and you were on your back and wondering, what in the world am I doing in Lystra? Let me tell you, I've had moments like that too. And you know, Paul and Barnabas escaped Lystra with their lives. And the thing that trips me out is just a few verses later, they go back to Lystra. They go back. And I'm like, what? What are they doing? And who would do that? They just got stoned. Don't go back. Not these suckers. They go back. And there's one reason why they go back. Love for the people in Lystra has broken their heart and has moved them back. And it made me think of this time when, you know, I baby strollered Sydney during my first full marathon training. Well, then when I came back and I ran 2013 again, I trained for the full again. I had another kid and in the stroller with me, double kids and a double stroller. And, you know, it was pretty awesome running down the beach in Dockweiler and getting the, like, you know, like the chin, you know, what's ups from all the dudes that were on the beach. Cause I felt like a total stud because I'm pushing that double stroller. But there's just one day I was out for the 15 miler and I had a digestive crisis and had to go into a beach bathroom where there was some dude who had been drunk and slept in the beach the night before, washing his feet in one of the toilets. I got my two kids with me in the double stroller. The iPad keeps shutting down on them for some reason, so they're getting bored on me. They've been out there for hours. I got to go to the bathroom, but I got to keep my eyes on the kids. I did work it all out. I escaped there. I get back to I make it to the end of the 15 miler, pushing the double stroller, sans iPads. At some point, Elijah or Sydney chucked the iPad out the stroller. And I remember thinking that day, what am I doing? And why am I trying to do this? And then that summer, I got to go to the field. And I got to meet my sponsor kid, Ava. And that changed my life. You might be telling me, Johnny, I would never go into some public bathroom with my kids in a double stroller and fight through that to finish a training run. I know some of you have done something like that. Some of you may be saying you would never do anything like that. I have two things to say to you. Number one, if you're not willing to go into a public bathroom and handle your business with kids in a double stroller, then I don't want you on my team when the zombie apocalypse strikes, all right? You're not getting picked first round, at least that. Second, everybody that's watching this stream, everybody, whether it's live or recorded, you would do it if you met Ava. If you met these kids. And I want to share my screen again, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. This is our, these are pictures from, and some video which you're not going to be able to hear the audio on this, but this is video from, that's Jen Kipsong, who prayed every day for 30 years that God would bring clean water to her community. These are the kids that she shepherded. Now, only about a third of the kids are there because we got to the water project we were seeing that serves this community. We got there late, but these kids stayed. They stayed after school, even with the walk home. And they wanted to celebrate the clean water that you guys have brought to their community. Now, this is Ronald Amolo hanging out with our very own Joanna Gramas and Brianna Hammond. I'm sorry, not Joanna Gramas. I'm mixing her up with one of our Hope Chapel runners. But that's Joanna and Brianna, and they are picking up a 40-pound jerry can. This woman to the right of the picture was doing 20 kilometers every day. She had permanent damage in her back and in her arms. And this is my wife in Kenya with me just in June, hanging out with sponsor kids all day. This is Noelle. She was blown away by her time with Noelle. We spent time all day blowing bubbles and drawing pictures and just celebrating the transformational life in Noelle. But I want to focus in on my main man, Ronald Amolo. Now, Ronald is a water engineer. That's his field. Many of you guys know Ronald. This is Ronald walking with Tracy Rivas, who was with us in Kenya, and he is right there blowing her away. I got my phone out. Behind her, you can see a storage tank for water. Now, that's not the water purification part of it. We saw our first ever borehole well on this trip in Kenya. Remember, borehole wells are only one way World Vision does its work. We've got 10 to 12 different approaches to clean water, and Ronald is a master of them all. But he was explaining to Tracy how the borehole well goes down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet deep, gets water, pumps it up through solar power pumps into a storage tank like that to get gravity behind the water so it can be pumped out over a large region. He was also explaining to us how private property owners of that property, because that's private property, partnered with World Vision, who partners with the leaders in the community to make a water project like that possible. All of it funded by our runners like Tracy, who are running LA Marathon for clean water. This is another picture of Ronald with a staff. That's Ronald right there. If you can see my cursor, if you can't, the staff is down in numbers this year, but up in their efficiency. And some of you may have seen this Facebook post. If you're not friends with me on Facebook, you need to add me, because I put stuff like this all the time. This is how Ronald is. If you can't see it, I'm going to read it to you. Ben Ngoro, one of Ronald's friends, who has a picture of himself with his graduation outfit on, says simply, malnutrition is due with balanced diet, not water. And Ronald corrects him, for your info, Ben, if you don't have water, you can't do irrigation. Lack of clean water drives people to use dirty water, and this translates to diarrhea and intestinal infections, which affect eating habits, more so for children. Loss of appetite causes malnutrition. Lactating mothers walk an average of 6 kilometers per day in search of water. In Kenya, this reduces the quantity of milk they produce, hence affecting the child. Over 80% of the cases of malnutrition in Africa can be attributed to access to water and sanitation. And I just got to tell you guys, Ronald is an amazing communicator, and he has a crippling stutter. He's not Johnny Huddle, like some big, loud, boisterous guy. He's very quiet and very consistent and full of the love of Jesus. I mean, everyone he speaks to, you never feel like he's putting anybody in the place. He speaks with power and love, and the result is this. I want you to look at these pictures. I'm going to share my screen one more time here. Hold on. Go back to screen share. Boom. These are Ronald's leaders at one of the schools, all right? He's got a list of names there. We're giving these water tanks for folks who ran in a global 6K hosted by a school that's in no man's land, which is this area. It's called no man's land in the bottom of the Rift Valley in Kenya. And instead of taking the preeminent place of power to give kids like this their water tank, Ronald let us be the ones who gave the water tanks. And that's the school principal cheering us on there. There's Brianna giving water tanks to these girls. Look at if you can see the expression on her face, guys. It was an amazing moment getting to just to share in this with Ronald. There's one of our runners from Chicago. She actually owns the building our old office was in, and was totally rocked and in tears during this time. There's Eric getting to being given a elder handshake by the young man he's awarding the water tank to. There's Tracy Rivas. I have so many amazing pictures of Tracy on this trip. She just wore awe and wonder on her face the entire trip. And this photo is a little dark, but that's our very own Dr. Brad, who broke 100,000 in his fundraising for LA Marathon there. And he told me later he's seen global poverty work all over the world. But Brad said that World Vision's work blew his mind, and his heart is broken for these kids. I'm hoping Brad's on the call right now. We also got to visit the finished slow sand filter. This is a picture of the security fence around it. There's Michael Chitwood, our national director, walking in with Kenya Bartabwa's staff. There's the painted and finished slow sand filter. You'll remember my pictures last year. There were piles of dirt around the filter. There's Ronald, the designer of this project, standing out level 3 because there's 3 levels of this project. There's the first level, which is the lake, the second level, which is the filtration tank, and the third level, which is the sanitation tank, which then pumps water out all over the region. And this is actually a photo of 2 women filling up at the slow sand filter at one of the water points, and Kendall there from Westmont is shaking their hands and just greeting them with love, and they were expressing their love and thankfulness to us. But Ronald was most excited to show us this bathroom at the school that hosted the 6K. That is a handicap-friendly bathroom, a latrine. That door is wide enough for wheelchair entry, including older wheelchairs. There is a sanitation station outside of the bathroom. I'm not going to show you pictures inside. I just didn't know if I should put that on a PowerPoint or not, but there's railings inside. There's a proper latrine seat inside. It's a lockable door. This is the stuff that gets me pumped up because it restores dignity to the kids. And your $50, for every $50 you raise, you're not just providing clean water, guys, but also sanitation training, and hand washing training, and safe water. And by the way, sanitation in Kenya means a safe toilet. It's a safe way of talking about a safe, clean place to go to the bathroom. A few more numbers for you right now, guys. And I'm going to get deep right now. We are crushing it. This is our global update. This is the last 6 months. Our fiscal year begins. Oh my goodness, I'm so pumped I got this reporting to share with you. Our fiscal year begins October 1st. In the first 6 months of the fiscal year, 1.4 million people have been provided access to clean drinking water. And you could see there, some of those numbers look low, but they're not. Look at that 54% number right there. That represents the number of volunteer, villager-driven water committees that are delivering the development for clean water. That's why the work you run for is so sustainable. And now I want to give you the Congo update, and I'm going to stop sharing to give you this update. All right. So the Congo is we're right on time, by the way, if you're wondering, with this live broadcast. So the Congo has been a very difficult place to fundraise for because it's very difficult to measure our effectiveness there. But no more. I had a meeting with Brian Gower in May with 3 other people on the call. It was a really big call. Brian Gower is the head of water sanitation and hygiene at World Vision US. Now they help coordinate with the national offices like Kenya and the Congo to determine where water funds go. And he gets on the call and he says to me, Johnny, have you done an intranet search for reporting in the Congo? And I was like, yep. And I came up dry, brother. And he said, well, Merry Christmas, man. That's all about to change. Now, in the old days, guys, the max we could fund Congo clean water projects was 2.5 million. Now that may sound like a lot, but guys, that's not. In Kenya, we can have up to 100 million of unfunded projects at any time because their capacity is so high. And World Vision doesn't want funds to ever sit still. So we never overfund a country. That's bad. We only want to fund available work to the final shilling and then boom, move on to the next thing. And I said, so what's the change, Brian? And he says, well, Johnny, because of what's happened at LA Marathon with remember our surprise $50,000 donation to Dr. Brad at the team dinner. Remember my crazy 40 miler. I did that for the Congo. That broke $180,000, which just blows my mind, man. I can't believe it because of that, guys, because of what Ocean Hills has done and some of our other top teams. They've upped the top capacity from 2.5 million to this number right here, sucker. I'm going to do a screen share. It's worth the wait. $25 million. $25 million. That is the new max capacity in the Congo. And it means reporting is going to start coming in, video testimonies are going to start coming in, and we're going to start seeing Kenya level development in the Congo. And I am thrilled about that. So thank you, guys. Here's our final numbers on the year. I'll share my screen again. These are our final numbers if you're interested. Got a little breakdown here. We our full marathon runners fundraised $608,912 at LA Marathon in 2016. Our charity relay runners crushed $206,958 for a grand total of $823,121.17. The impact of the field means 16,462 people have received clean water developed locally, access to sanitation training, built safe latrines which ensure health and restore dignity. 16,000, guys, out of a dorm room sized office, borrowed space in my church family's facility. We had our top year with volunteerism. I shared this update with LA Marathon staff, 12 people in a room, including the CEO of LA Marathon. Remember, they hosted the Olympic time trials. This is one of the biggest races in the world, and that entire room was weeping during the 10-minute presentation I gave. They actually said to me at the end of it, they said, would you be on every sales call that we give to tell about the charity program? And then they all laughed. And I just looked at them because, guys, all I did that whole presentation was show pictures of you, pictures of our runners, pictures of our people, told their stories, talked about how LA Marathon had transformed them. And I want you to remember those testimonies and those stories, guys, because we're going into another opportunity this year. You know, we got major dates going on that I got to put on your radar. But the first thing I want to talk about is all of this reporting that I'm sharing with you, I'm going to provide to you. Jill and I are going to email this out so that you can inform your donors. Don't think that we've been dragging our feet the last few months. The Comrades trip is nothing, man. It was a huge deal. But we have contacted over 300 churches to invite them to run LA Marathon. We are seeing our African-American congregations, Mandarin language congregations. We're seeing a diverse group of churches begin to rise up. And my dream is that this year at LA Marathon, we have the most diverse expression of the kingdom of God ever in the city of LA. You know, why not? Why not go for that? One jersey, one Jesus, one mission. We're all united. World Vision doesn't own it. World Vision powers it. And we are the people that are going to end the clean water crisis, and we're going to do it together, united together. So let me share my screen one more time to give you a few more amazing updates, and then we'll wrap this call up. I want to talk to you a little bit about group trainings, guys. We are going to be upgrading our group trainings this year. This was the 20 and 10 mile group training at the Rose Bowl, one of the greatest group training events in the history of LA Marathon. We had little stations where you could pick up a jerry can, take selfie pictures, send that out, and fundraise. That day, we raised $6,000 just off of tweets and fundraising efforts coming out of that training day. This next year, guys, this season, we are amping that up to a whole different level. Some other fun updates. I am doing the 41 miler again this year. I did 40 last year. I'm going to do 41 miles this year. That's me with the Rivas family before I died on the 40 miler. I got to do it, man, because I never realized doing something that crazy would bring so much attention to our LA Marathon team. And also, it just broke me. It put me in this position that I needed to be in. Some of you may not remember, but I couldn't even speak at the impact night that we did this last year. I was so sick, you know, and Don Lee ended up and Lindsay ended up doing all the teaching and the speaking at that event. I really still believe that we've got to lead from a position of weakness, not of personal strength and expertise. So there's a little picture of Group Training 2.0. We're going to have some theme Saturdays coming up, suckers. We are doing Avengers Assemble. I think the second or third week of group training, we are going to challenge everybody to dress up as their favorite superhero, come down, do the group training together. And I know you see his picture on the left side of the screen. We are doing Will Ferrell week. Dress up as your favorite Will Ferrell character. I think I'm going to come as the All-American Will Ferrell from the epic you're afraid I'm going to say it, and I am going to say it, from the epic Saturday Night Live skit. All right, we are doing a Will Ferrell week, and suckers, we are doing a chili dog throwdown. If you're like, I'm not eating chili dogs at any of our group runs, well, then we're going to do the baker's dozen for you. We're going to have donuts set out, and we are all going to do some kind of Krispy Kreme group training until we puke our guts out in the bushes, and then for the rest of our lives, we'll all be best friends, all right? Really this year, guys, it is going to be the best group trainings that we have ever had. The launch for LA Marathon for the full is the first 2 weeks of September. I've reached out to many of you, but really we can launch into October. And if your church is doing the charity relay, we can focus our launches the end of October into the first 2 weeks of November. Base training for the relay begins on November 12th. And now, massive announcements. Number 9. Number 1, and I don't have slides for these, so you just have to listen to me. If you set, oh, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to do something. Hold on. Goodbye. Hold on. I'm almost ready. Hold on now. Oh, yeah. If you set a superhero goal this year, that means, oh, my cape, that means you set a goal of $3,000 or higher. Team World Vision can cover the cost of your race registration. Of course, that's going to be true for superhero goal of 5,000 or legacy goal. Guys, this year we got permission to do that. Let's say you want to set that superhero goal and you don't hit that goal, then you will have to pay for your registration cost. But that's it. You still don't guarantee a fundraising goal. You would just guarantee that, hey, Johnny, if I don't hit 3,000, I will pay the cost of my registration. But we still, we're the only running charity that does not make people, provides training, but does not make people guarantee their fundraising. That's not going to change. Second huge announcement is if you help us partner with a new church in Southern California for the LA Marathon, I can also cover the cost of your entry fee, and that includes the charity relay. Or if you're like, well, Johnny, I'm setting a hero level goal, so I don't need the cost of my relay or my full marathon registration covered, then I can cover the cost of a pair of shoes, a brand new pair of training shoes for you this year. Guys, this is, if you're a second year Team World Vision OG, or you may not know this, my 5 or 6 year folks know I've never been able to do anything like this. This is an incredibly exciting time for me. So know that this year there's 2 ways to get your reg covered. Set that hero level goal, or set that or forgive me, network in a new church family that runs with Team World Vision. I do need help with that, guys. I've got 8 strong new church partners in line. I still want to set up corporate teams. Remember, we don't ask people at our group trainings what church they're from. We ask them, how'd you hear about Team World Vision? So when corporate teams show up, they get treated with the same love and respect that a church team would. I'm asking you to pray about this and to consider inviting me in to maybe a relationship that you have, and I'll take someone to lunch, or you and your friend to lunch, or get coffee, or do whatever we need to do to invite them to change kids' lives forever. The next with you is just a quick note about Kenya. I'm going to look down at my notes real quick. I had the whole thing memorized. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. I'm excited because LA Marathon, they've and actually I'm shifting away from Kenya for a minute. LA Marathon is so blown away by our team. We were the #1 charity again this year. Praise God. He gets all the glory for that. At 823,000, the #2 charity was at 160,000. The #3 charity at 140,000. LA Marathon's blown away by that. So they've hired a staff to help us own the charity transition zone. We're going to have a massive finish line tent at that halfway zone this year. I'm working on that. It is going to be, we're going to upgrade the entire experience. Another cool thing is this. Some of you team captains know that they have asked us to make hard commitments towards our registration numbers in the past. It's very difficult for me to do that because our number is very high. They are not making us do that anymore. They're asking that we guarantee we bring 100 runners. And if my numbers are right this year, guys, we'll have 900 runners at LA Marathon. And so I'm praying about something huge. Our average per runner last year was $2,400 per runner. 600 runners. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. I can't get my mind around that, you know. And we had, of all Team World Vision teams across the country, we had, and I believe this is because of Jill Partridge's partnership with us, working with us this year, as well as with Fuller, we had the highest conversion rate. What that means is for folks who gave a yes on the Sunday they were invited to run, more of them got registered in LA than in any other city across the country. In fact, I'm not going to name names, but in one city that's close to our size, only 40% of the yeses actually registered. We were over 85% of our yeses registered for the race. I credit that to you guys. I need you to be a part of this, guys. I really do. I need you to prayerfully consider bringing your best back this year. If there's a team that's going to get to see the clean water crisis end in our lifetime, it's us, man. And it's because of you. It's because of how you've owned this mission and how you've led. I really believe that. That's why our runners are converting. So just 2 more minutes and we're all done because I got to give you my last announcement. I'm praying about a fundraising goal this year for LA Marathon. I've talked to the field offices. I've talked about what the need is, and the need's always really great. Last year, our goal was destroyed by LA Marathon. We were insanely beyond our goal. And these goals I set prayerfully. I don't talk about them with you guys a lot because I don't want you worried about them. I want you worried about your own personal fundraising goal. But God just showed me that we may have underestimated what he could do last year. So guys, I'm praying about LA Marathon, about us. The most we've ever made was this year at 823,000. What if we wasn't this year, you know? Well, I'm praying about that goal, and I'm on a total food fast. And I went up and visited my mentor who just passed away. Those of you who are on Facebook with me know my mentor, Ron Salisbury, passed away. I love him to death, and his whole family, and his daughter Sarah and his niece Jeanette are huge Team World Vision heroes up in the Central Coast. His son Jeff ran with us. His wife Kathy is a Team World Vision hero. All of his church are Team World Vision heroes. And I just had this great meeting, and he really, you know, we wept and wept and wept, and it was a very powerful meeting. But he really said, Johnny, I really believe God has you where he wants you. Well, I'm driving down, and the next day I'm meeting with an anonymous donor who really loved on us last year. I gave him a copy of Michael Chitwood's book and I got to actually share the gospel with his interns in his office, which he asked me to do, and it was really awesome. It sounds all weird probably on a live stream, but it was incredible. It was very powerful. But he walked out with me, stood next to my beat up old Ford F-150, which I'm so thankful for. It gets me all around Southern California. And he handed me a check. And I said, I didn't come down here for a check, bro. And he says, Johnny, you have to take this. This is clean water. And it was a check. for LA Marathon 2017 for $100,000, a personal written check. And, you know, I almost got in 2 car accidents on the way home. I was crying, driving home, and this guy in a Porsche totally gave me the bird, and I totally deserved it. But I felt like Paul and Barnabas in Lystra. Like I just felt like I was at the top of the world. And then, you know, I knew it was like the Lord whispered to me, listen to Ronnie, listen to me. I got you where I want you. And I believe, guys, that God has got you where he wants you to. You have to learn to identify the strengths, because if I don't have team captains doing what God's called them to do, if I don't have fellow Team O Vision staff doing what God's called them to do, then I'm not freed up to go and to be with donors like this, high capacity donors that literally want to end the clean water crisis and have the capacity. They're trying to sniff us out to see if we're down for the long haul. I believe that we are. I love you. Look for invites to Impact Nights. We're going to do a Dominico's night. We're also doing a Huddle family meetup at our house this season. I want to get you guys all down to LA and have just a cookout, hangout time at the house. Email me any questions. But I'm going to sign out and just tell you thank you. Thank you for being the most amazing team ever. And you got the email because you got the invite. Ping me back. Let me know if you want to get coffee. Let me know if you're ready to launch at your church. Let's get this stuff going, guys, and let's just cover LA Marathon with God's heart for clean water for these kids. Don't forget who you run for. I love you guys.